Hey everybody, welcome back. Finally able to get to some of the fun stuff instead of just sweeping and unboxing and moving things around. Finally getting to go through the Lego. Now, I did make a mistake. In the last video you saw, when I was putting together the bins for everything, I said that I really screwed up and I only bought 11 bins. I thought I had 12. I actually did have 12. This is number 12, and it was buried in the middle of all the stuff that was in this section from the first video. So now I have 13 bins, and apparently I already had one of them full of Lego. So now I only have 11 bins that I can actually fill up and have them on the rack. But we've got bin number 1 over here. I've got Anna over there. She is going to be writing down what all of these things are, so I can have a list and make sure that I've got it in my online inventory. And these will be going from here, and all of these, into there. So let's get going with what we have. And I'm probably going to put my glasses on so that I can make sure I can read my own handwriting. We have officially begun. That empties this bin, and we've still got a little room in here, so we can start going with this. Now, this bin was my holiday bin. It has holiday, Christmas, that sort of thing, but I'm going to take this set and move it out of the holiday bin because technically it's part of the amusement park rides. This is number 10273, Haunted House. Okay. This should actually work out. This should fill this bin completely. Alright, I might have room for some more small sets in here. Let's see what is in this one. Don't think we're going to find small ones in here. There we go, got a couple. I think that is all that's going to fit into bin number 1. But hey, we are now 1/12 of the way there, and we've only got all of this left to go through. Okay, put bin number 1 away, got bin number 2 out, and I was right. Putting a full bin of Lego on the top rack was extremely difficult. It's big, it's bulky, it's heavy, it's awkward, but it looks good. So, this is where we're getting into some of the larger ones. These are all of the modular buildings, a lot of them anyway. The first one is 10255, Assembly Square. Now, these ones I need to be a little bit more cautious with because they have base plates. And if you store these too long with them in a bent state, they will stay that way. So I tend to try and put those in long-term storage a little bit more cautiously.
for the most part, what I'm doing during this whole time is just pulling a bag out, reading a number, and Anna's writing it down, and then I put it in there in the bin and move on. And since that wasn't really interesting in real time, I basically fast forwarded through a lot of sections in here, and I will be taking those silences, because you don't want to hear the squeaky chipmunk voice going on, to record a little bit more information about what Lego is with me and about my collection.
This is getting a little concerning because it looks like I'm getting 1 for 1, and I think I have more than a dozen of these things. Might run out of room here. Okay, looks like we might be able to make some up here, so we've got some small ones. Gonna have to look for some smaller sets to fill in some of these space. These are all big bulky ones. They need to go in another bin, so gonna start dipping into some of these others over here. And I think that's all I can squeeze into this bin. So time to put its lid on, put it on the rack, and bring another one out. Bin number 3, continuing with the modulars that take up a lot of space. Oh crap, that's never a good sign. Looks like I will be looking for lost pieces eventually down here, and I'm not looking forward to that because there's a lot of spider webs down here. Yay! Another bin empty. So time to pull from the back here. Alright, it looks like we're going to have to call it quits on this one because I can't get to any smaller ones to fill in these gaps. It's pretty full anyway, so we're going to call it quits on number 3, put it away, and get ready for number 4.
Over the years, I have made zero secret to people that I meet and that I know that I'm into Lego. And a lot of times people will ask me, how exactly did you get into Lego? Was it from when you were a kid? And honestly, the answer to that is no. I didn't have Lego when I was growing up. I never played with them. It wasn't something that was really of interest to me. My earliest memory of Lego is actually at my cousin's place. During the summers when I was relatively young, I got gang pressed into babysitting my cousins during the summer. And I remember they had a bunch of Lego, and we would go down in the basement and we would build various things, a lot of houses. And the Lego they had was old even then, in the late 70s, early 80s. So the only thing I really remember is that they had a tendency to dump their buckets of Lego out at the bottom of the stairs, so when you come down the stairs you would step on Lego. I don't know that it was deliberately, maliciously evil, but if you went down the stairs barefoot, it definitely would be.
I'm getting a little concerned that I'm not going to actually clear any space here. I was looking at these while we took a little break. These bins are 100 quart. These bins are 27 gallon. Well, 100 quarts is 25 gallons. These are only 2 gallons bigger than these ones. I don't know how much I'm going to clear out just taking 2 gallons more per bin. This might be kind of a fruitless endeavor. But get this one moved into the rack and get going on the next one. Another bin stored, another bin ready. Did some quick math based on these things, and if my math was right, I'm going through over 250 gallons of Lego right now. I don't even want to know how much that weighs, but based on the way my shoulders feel right now, they weigh a lot. But let's keep going.
To my recollection, first Lego I actually bought for myself was when I was in high school. Now, in high school, I was in the pep band. I played trumpet. If you saw the previous video, you saw that I had a cornet. And we would play for the basketball games, the football games, etc. Well, in high school, I had access to a car, and before a basketball game decided to get something to eat before the game, and me and a couple of friends, we went to McDonald's. And at that time, in the Happy Meal, McDonald's was giving away very small Lego sets, and it was less than 10, mostly bricks, a couple of slope pieces. Not anything real big or fancy, but I think that what I got in a Happy Meal, because I got it deliberately because there was Lego, was a very rudimentary airplane. And I remember eating the food, going to the game, and while waiting for the basketball game to start, I opened up this Lego and built it, and I can still see in my head this batch of colorful little Lego that was sitting in my case for my cornet. And that's really my first memory of owning my own Lego, such as it is.
And I think that is going to be enough for this bin. Okay, we're on bin 6. I'm a little concerned because there's 7 of these and 6 of these. No, there's 7 of these left because this one's empty.
Over the years, I've gotten a lot of mixed reactions to the Lego thing. Everything from that's really cool, or that's neat, or I don't get it, but you do you, all the way up to being dismissed as a potential dating partner because of the Lego thing. And I decided a long time ago that, you know what, I don't, I'm not going to live long enough to try and make everybody happy, so I should kind of focus on making me happy. And Lego is one of the things that allows me to be happy. I'll go into more detail about that a little bit later when I've got a larger blank space to talk in. But the whole thing comes down to, why do you care what other people think if it's making you happy? Lego is one of the few things that I have that gives me a sense of zen. And so I'm not going to give that up, and I'm not going to change the way I live just because somebody thinks that it's weird.
8065 mini container truck, and that's going to be it for this one. It looks like it's about full. So move on to the next bin. Continuing on with number 7. You know what? I'm going through these trying to think about which ones I'm going to keep. Am I going to get rid of any? And suddenly having the epiphany. I've been going through, I've been finding a lot of these friend sets, which were really cool, and I did enjoy building them and everything, but I don't know that there's something that I necessarily want to keep and just... I've got 3 granddaughters I need to get into Lego. Good luck, kids!
I actually got into Lego in the mid 90s, and it was kind of an interesting situation that caused it. I was going through a really tough time emotionally, and it was causing me to lose sleep and had a lot of things that I just really couldn't get off my mind. And I looked and looked for a bunch of things to try and help me out. I talked to some people and watched a lot of movies, read a lot of books, but there were always these intrusive thoughts. I couldn't actually shut off my brain. And so the brain was interrupting everything I was doing. I was trying to watch a movie, and all of a sudden the brain would pipe in and say, you know what? Let's think about this thing that's causing you a lot of emotional turmoil. Let's not watch this movie. Let's not read this book. Hey, you've read that same paragraph 6 times and you don't remember any of it because I'm right here telling you about all the things that are making you miserable. And I was really struggling. And I wound up meeting somebody who did not have any of the standard distractions like TV or anything else. And what they did to fill their time was listen to music and build Lego. And I got invited over to partake in this activity, and I found out that Lego shut the brain off. I was able to focus just enough to eliminate the intrusive thoughts. And it was magic. And that's how I wound up going to buy an actual Lego set for the first time. Thank you, Toys R Us.
And 41011, Stephanie's soccer practice. And that's going to do it for this one. I think what I'm going to do is do some shuffling. Keep this one for all of these poly bags that I've been separating, because I know that they are not all going to fit in the box I've got in the other room of all of the other poly bags. So I'm going to do a little shuffling. I'm going to put this away, get another empty out here, and then we will get started on number 8. What number is over there? Okay. Keeping my fingers crossed. Okay, did a little reshuffling. Got a bin down here for all the poly bags, and an empty bin here, a full bin here, 3 more there, and we've got 5 empties. We might make it through this stuff, but well, we'll talk about that at the end. So, let's see if we can find some big ones to put in the bottom of here.
After discovering that I could shut my brain off with Lego, I kept getting more and more elaborate. I would pick up the smaller sets, but they didn't last long, and I would have them on display. I'd take them apart, build them again, take them apart, find another one. But I eventually started getting some of the more elaborate sets, and everything started transitioning a bit from I'm buying Lego to shut off my brain to I'm buying Lego because it's a really cool set, or I really enjoy something about it. And it eventually allowed me to start enjoying Lego for what it was instead of as an escape, and wound up amassing quite a few Lego.
Yay! There's She-Hulk. Right there. 76078. Hulk versus Red Hulk.
Even now, looking through some of these sets that I'm going through, it's easy to see how they line up with parts of my life where I was still having some emotional struggles. It tends to be fewer of the neat ones and more of the Lego that is just for the sake of having Lego. Smaller sets, things that don't really have any significant meaning, like are they Star Wars sets? Are they technique sets that are really neat and do really cool stuff? So a lot of the smaller sets tend to fall into that. But it's still Lego, and it's still really cool, and I wound up with a lot of Lego, and I was not doing the best job of keeping them organized way back when.
Catwoman Cat Cycle City Chase. And that's going to do it for this video. So, time to swap out bins again. Keep crossing our fingers. Onward to bin 9.
The first time I sold Lego, I had been amassing for a really long time. It had probably been about 10 years. I had some really neat sets, I had a bunch of not so neat sets, and wound up in a situation where I was struggling financially and I had to do something. So I wound up putting a mass of Lego up for sale on eBay. They were completely unsorted. I didn't have them in the individual bags like you've been seeing through this entire video. They were all in just a big tub. I had all the instructions. I didn't have the boxes anymore, but you could tell what sets were in there because there were instructions. And I tried initially to go through the instructions, sort through the pieces, build all of the sets, make sure they were complete so I could sell them individually, but that just didn't work out. It was just taking hours upon hours to find all the pieces for the smallest sets. So I just put the bulk of it up for sale on eBay and wound up auctioning it off basically by saying, loose Lego, here's the instructions, included in them are these sets, unsorted, and they weigh this much. And I wound up selling them all for about $800 in about 2002. And that managed to get me out of it, but I just kept regretting it. I had the original Ultimate Collector's X-Wing that was in there, the Ultimate Collector's TIE Fighter, and any one of those right now on their own would probably sell for as much as I sold everything for. So I kind of took a bath on selling all these Legos financially. And I've always kind of regretted that I didn't have the foresight or know that Lego was something that would actually increase in value. I thought it was get it, play with it, enjoy it, and display it, but I had never given any real thought to how you could keep it and profit off of it. And unfortunately, in the years since then, everybody has realized that you can invest in Lego. The website where I've been keeping track of all of the Lego sets that I have right now, it's kind of a little bit devoted to which ones are going to be the best investment. And it's really caused the cost of used Lego to go up. Now, with some of the stuff I'm going through here, it's going to go up for sale, and I'm probably going to at least recoup my money on it. But the ones that I really wish I had that I missed out on, because Lego retires sets, I'm not going to get those without spending 2 or 3 times the original retail price on them. The values that I've been showing on the screen so far, those are what the current values are based on this website according to the condition that I have them in. I've been trying very hard to make sure that I'm only putting complete sets up there and that they are used and what I have for them, so that the website will put in the right values. And as of the recording of this video, early November 2023, those are what these sets would be worth if I was to list them on either the specialized websites for buying and selling Lego or on eBay. But I don't know. There's something about it that just makes me think, you know what? You sell them, you're gonna regret it later. And that's how I wound up with 11 bins full of Lego. Just couldn't get past that. Couldn't get past that fear of if you don't have it anymore, you'll never get it again.
But continuing on, we've only got 2 more of the big ones to go through that are all in bags, and we got 3 bins left. So, bonus.
After selling the first batch, I pretty much immediately started collecting again. And it took about another 10 years, and I accumulated enough that it was just taking up too much space. So I did another sale. This time I did still have the boxes. I did still have the instructions, and I had been separating them. So I was actually able to list them on eBay and get a lot more. I didn't sell everything I had at the time, just a select few sets, but I did manage to go from $800 to $1,100 selling Lego, and I don't really regret selling those. There's really only one set that I remember being a part of that sale that I wish I still had, but it's not one of them that I'm going to run out and try and get again. I didn't care about it enough to have to replace it. I would have liked to have still had it, but not enough to get it a second time. And as the years went on, I was still collecting Lego. I was still getting the neater sets. I wasn't just grabbing stuff off the shelf like I used to. Lego had fully transitioned for me from an escape to a hobby that I enjoy. And I was only buying the stuff that mattered to me individually because they were really neat. They were part of some series. They all worked out really well. And now we've gotten to the place where I am today, where I'm going through all these things. I'm going to be culling them again and putting some up for sale. Down in the comments, let me know. What do you think I should keep? What do you think I should sell? How much should I sell? Where should I sell it? Hey, let me know if you want one. Maybe we can work something out. But this is something that is never going to go away, obviously, since I have been doing all of this work to find a good storage system, location, all of that stuff. And it's still fun. I still enjoy it, especially now that I have a modicum of discretionary income and a lot of irresponsibility. It allows you a lot of freedom. I'm really only limited right now by space, which, as you can see from this video, I am rapidly running out of.
that is all of these that are going to fit in this bin. The rest of them are very large sets. So I'm going to have to put this one away and get number 11 out, and that will finish out these bins. I think this is going to finish it up. Hey everybody, just cutting in here a little bit. It's been I don't know, maybe 3 weeks since filmed all that other stuff. And after that was done, when I was starting to go through and plug everything into the computer and inventory and sort and all of that other stuff, I found a bunch of other things that also went into bin number 11. So I'm about to show you the inventory for bin 11, and it's got some stuff that you didn't see because you saw that I only threw like 3 things in there. So let's get to the inventory list. Hey everybody, as I was going through some of those bins, you may have seen me pulling out some bags and throwing them off to the side. The reason for that was I have a special bin where I collect all of the very small Lego sets that just come on a bag. You'll see them at the checkout counters at Target or other places. They don't come in a box, they just come in a little plastic bag. They're usually between $3 and $5, and I had been collecting a lot of those. So rather than have all of those in the big bins, I've got one bin that contains all of those little polybag sets. So let's take a look at the inventory for that bin, and it's going to take a few minutes because I have a lot of them. Cutting in again, I'm going to show some more inventory lists, but I didn't actually film a lot of stuff. The first thing that I did is, if you remember, there were 2 big U-Haul boxes right over here. And inside of those U-Haul boxes were a lot of the sets that I have where the boxes don't break down flat. And they were kind of important, so I wanted to keep those stored in their original condition. So what I'm about to show you now is the inventory of those 2 U-Haul boxes that were over there, box 1 and box 2. as I continued to go through stuff, I remembered there was one place that I had Lego that was completely different from everywhere else. And it was in the theater room where I play video games. That's why there was Lego in there. Years ago, there was the Lego Dimensions video game. It was one of the Toys to Life things, Lego's attempt to get into that Skyrim and Disney Infinity type thing. And it was actually a really fun game. I enjoyed it. And I bought everything, every single pack. So the next thing you're going to see is the inventory of all of my Lego Dimensions sets that were for that game for the PS4. In earlier bits, you heard me mention the holiday bin. Now, originally that was going to cover everything that was a Lego set that was kind of oriented towards a holiday. So mostly there's a lot of Christmas sets in there, but I also had Halloween sets, and at the time I had put there were some other themes that I put in there because they were of the spooky, scary nature. Lego briefly did a series that was based off of monsters. Those went into some of the bins that you've already seen already. Some of them went into bin 11 after I pulled them out. But there's also a couple of Thanksgiving, Easter, Valentine's Day type stuff. So let's take a look at what is in the holiday bin now. One of the things that Lego started doing is they started into the whole blind bag thing, kind of like Pokemon cards and other collectibles where you bought a bag, you didn't know what was in it, and you crossed your fingers and hoped. I started collecting those a long time ago, and I finally got around to going through and inventorying all of those. And what we're going to show now is the inventory of all of those blind bag minifigures, which kind of count as a set on the website. Getting down to the wire now. there is one more thing, and I have got some Lego sets that I have bought and never opened yet. And so I have set up a shelf in the other room, and I call it the to be built shelf, TBB. So there's a few sets on there. Eventually they will get built, they will get bagged, and they will go into one of the bins. But for right now, they're on the TBB shelf. And we'll take a look at what's there. That completes everything. Everything's been inventoried, everything's been plugged in, and we now know all of the Lego that I have. I've gone through everything. And you've seen it bin by bin by bin. I've shown you some of the stuff that did not get filmed. But before we take a look at the overall summary of everything that I have, I really want to thank Brickset. That is the website that I was using. It's where all of the data has come from. All of the pictures that you've seen on the screen, they come straight from Brickset. It's where I did my inventory. They have the values for new sets, used sets. So when I say I was putting them into the inventory, it was going on to Brickset. And that's where all of the numbers that you've seen on these end screens with the running totals go. And we're going to give a summary of all of those other bins and everything else in just a second. Before we go back to the original video that I filmed the first time, and you get the outro where I say thank you and we're done, and I give my maybe someday you will be famous catchphrase. But let's take a look at everything that we have. Okay, that is actually it. That is all of the sets that I know I actually have that have been put in these bins. These bags right here are a Star Destroyer that I bought used. It needs some work, it needs some help. I've got to make sure all the pieces are there. I know that it's got some sun fading, so I'm going to put this back into this bin because this bag here is the same thing with one of the original Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcons. That's it. We're done, and we actually have 1.5 of these things left. So that makes me happy. But the next step is going to be to move some more stuff around, try to make some other things go on, and I'm trying to get this out of the way so I can get to the video games, because that's really what I want to do. But for now, we are at a major stepping point here. Just have to decide if I'm going to build the workbench to do all the other stuff next, or whether I'm going to play with toys. So anyway, for this, we're done. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this one short. My memory card's just about full. And remember, it's not hoarding if it's cool shit. See you guys.
Thank you for watching Station SLNH, Scruffy Looking Nerd Hoarder, the Internet. This concludes our broadcast day.